the 7 of us, but that's it. No extended family, none of our wonderful guests that we cherish every year. Not going to Israel, not going to be at my nephew's bar mitzvah on Erev Pesach. There is so much that is just now out of my control, completely out of my control. And I think the most important thing for all of us right now is to actually acknowledge that this in itself is something really challenging for us. I think that there are so many terrible, tragic things going on around us that, like I said, are coming closer and closer to home, that we are feeling and we're connecting to. But even the little annoyance of, having to Pesach when you weren't planning to, or not being able to be with family, or having to have all the virtual communication, which I know is so trivial in comparison to the stories we're hearing, or the people we're hearing who are being rushed off to hospital, who are sitting in isolation, suffering from the virus at the moment. All these things, they might not be as life-threatening, God forbid, but they're still real, and there's still things that we need to. I think the most important thing right now is to admit that actually Pesach this year is going to be difficult. And I think for each of us, our role right now is to make sure that we can try to make a difficult Pesach still be a joyous Pesach. One of the most incredible ways that we're already seeing unfolding within our own community and beyond, it's unbelievable to see how much people are going around and thinking of each other. Normally, I'm sure as many of you have done, very often we go on before outlets, we go to Kingdom and we join. It's wonderful to see our whole community migrating around, whether it's to Mill Hill or whether it's to Kosher Kingdom in Gordon's Green. It's a great chance to chat with people, to see people, to stock up on these massive trolleys full of food. And this year, yes, there have been stories and there are people who are still running around and doing crazy things like that. But for many people, that's no longer an option. But that doesn't mean that we can't have Pesach spirit. It's been unbelievable to see people who are so willing and able to do Pesach shopping for other people, so willing to help. We have a WhatsApp group just for errands. This is a WhatsApp group. Anyone who's self-isolating, anyone who's not able to get out, anyone who doesn't want to, is part of the risk category and shouldn't be going out. Just so you should know, there are over 100 people in our WhatsApp group ready and waiting. The second a request goes out, somebody needs shopping, everyone pounces on it. And if you don't get there in time, people are really disappointed because they really want to be able to help. So that's what an incredible thing that we're seeing is the helping and the shopping and the doing things for Pesach in a completely different way than we would ever have planned. Whoever would have thought that you would ask your neighbour or that your neighbour would offer to go and do your Pesach shopping for you, right? But it's such a pilgrimage to go and make sure that you have everything. And also in addition, I'm sure that many of you have seen, and if not, we're going to be sharing content as well. The KOB are trying to make it as easy as possible to be able to make Pesach. That there are so many things that are available from your local supermarket if you're able to get a delivery slot. I know that that's no small feat, but there are things that you can buy that don't have to be bought in the kosher shop. They're guiding us, they're helping us. And actually also the idea that when we do have Pesach this year, maybe if we don't have all the extra bows and trimmings, it will still be a beautiful Yom Tov. It will still be a special time. I know for us this Shabbat was a very strange one, as I'm sure it was for many of you. Not having shul meant that Elchanan was around, or both of us were around with the children the whole day. We did go for a walk, socially distancing from people, but still being able to say hi to so many people in the community, everyone keeping away from each other. And please God, we should continue to be able to be outside and go for walks, but who knows. But what was really interesting was that even though Shabbat was missing so many of our normal elements, it was missing our friends, it was missing our guests, it was missing fancy dishes, right? I had the kids home for 3 days. There wasn't going to be any exciting gourmet dishes. It was a beautiful Shabbat. We spent some amazing quality time together. We thank God the technology stopped for a minute. I think it's amazing, all the initiatives and the jokes and the videos and the inspiration and the quotes and the wonderful things that's whizzing around. And I'm sure you've all found that as well. But actually, it's been so much information overload. It was lovely to have 25 hours to just focus on our family. And we played games together. So normally, as wonderful as it is, we've got such a busy Shabbat, as you all know, is one of our busiest days. As wonderful as it is to have everyone around, normally we really don't have that special quality time. And this time we did. So that was really a very big bonus as well for us. But I think Pesach is going to look completely different than it ever has before. I know it's going to look completely different than it ever has before. I remember when we first moved into 8 Richfield Road, we actually moved in on Erev Pesach. So that year we didn't have guests. And that was a really strange feeling. It was a strange feeling, we didn't have guests for Seder night. We had people joined us. I think we had family came for the second half, but for Seder night, it was just us. And it was a really strange feeling. But at the same time, we were able to go over to our neighbor and knock on and have a l'chaim there. And we were able to go to shul the next day and see people. And this year is not going to be like that. So I really think this Pesach is going to be something different than anything we've ever had before. And maybe it's a chance for us to strip down to the elements of what makes it Pesach. To take away all the fanfare and all the kosher for Pesach pizza and bagels and bubala and everything else that makes Pesach Pesach. And actually think about, do you know what? If you have a box of matzah and you have a bottle of grape juice, and there's nobody in the community who should not have those because we'll make sure they're delivered to you, and you have as much as you can, the raw elements of your Seder plate, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, and it's going to be something that you'll remember forever. But please God, we should all get to that point in good health, and we can't stress about the preparations and what's required to get to that point, because there are so many other things that we need to be worrying about right now. So bearing that in mind, I wanted to share, I did actually share it in the newsletter this week, so some of you might have seen that already. But I wanted to show you, I wanted to actually demonstrate to you how I will be cleaning my kitchen cupboards for Pesach, because I think that's something that you have to actually do it. So I'm not sure if the people on Zoom will see it as well, but we will try. So just as an example, this is my comments, things that I use all year round. This one's another one. These are my dishes that I use all the time. The way that I will be cleaning with the paper, and I checked with Rebbetzen Shira, so I know that the same is true for her. I do not have to take out every dish and wipe it down and clean off all the crumbs. That's not how you clean for Pesach. The only thing I need to do is I'll be cleaning these with sellotape. I'll be using masking tape because that doesn't leave horrible marks on it. I'll be sealing the cupboards with sellotape, and I will be writing on it comments. For those of us who have little children, it's a great job for your kids to make you lovely labels. For those of you who have grandchildren, what a wonderful activity you can come up with. Ask them to colour you some chametz labels that they can post through your door so that you can use them to put on your cupboards. And then before Pesach comes in, I will have labelled these as chametz. One of the most important things that you can do before Pesach is to make sure that you sell your chametz. That's very, very important. So it's important to make sure that all the food in your house that is chametz needs to be sold, and that includes dishes that I haven't checked and I haven't wiped down the shelves and I haven't got rid of crumbs or anything like that. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. And what's really wonderful, speaking of which, is that our wonderful rabbis are going to be available to come and sell chametz for us. And Rabbi Jacqueline has just walked in at the perfect time to tell us how that happens.
Yes, so normally we have different options that now seem to be sold for Pesach. The traditional way, of course, is having a chance to come into full and do a formal for many years now, we've realized that it hasn't been practical for many people to be able to come into shul, and we want to make sure that selling chametz, which is an integral part, a fundamental part of the experience of preparing one's house for Pesach, still takes place. And therefore, we've moved already for a couple of years to an online form. The online form, which will be going out this week, is extremely straightforward. All you need to do is to respond, fill out the form, click on it, and say that you want your chametz to be actioned by myself or Rabbi Nick to act as your agents for the sale, and then that happens, it's done. Even though the chametz is still in your domain, it's still in your possession, it is now going to then be transferred over to one of our caretaking staff, who will very kindly take your delicious wheat whiskey or whatever it might be as well. So all to play for and coming up soon.
So once you've sealed up the cupboards, as long as you filled out your form, that is how you get rid of chametz. This year is definitely not the year, unless you're really bored at home, to make things harder for yourself, right? There's so much stress around, there's so much sadness around, there's so much challenge around, and especially again for people who have young children at home, this is not the year, and it's your first time making Pesach, which makes it even more complicated. This is not the year to make things complicated for yourself. This is the year to make things as easy as you possibly can. So that's why I wanted to show you what myself and Rebbetzen Shira will be doing, is just simply sellotaping up our cupboards, writing on them chametz, and filling out a chametz form, making sure that we sell it. So I just wanted to open up if there are any questions that you might have, any comments that you might have. This is mainly to the Zoom people, but I will try to see if I can do, if there's Facebook Live people as well. What I will say again to the Facebook Live people is that if you guys can get onto Zoom, there's a constant shul channel that lots of people I can see on the screen have been popping in and out of all day today. So that's going to be available. You can pop in and out. We'll be sharing inspiration, interesting ideas, recipes, lots of lovely things coming up in terms of Pesach. And please God, we'll also talk about how to run a Seder if you've never done it before. So lots of exciting things going on at this slot, but lots of other slots as well, lunch and learns and things like that going on as well. So please continue to join us, but I would recommend the people on Facebook Live download Zoom onto your phone, click on the meeting link that Rabbi Nick's been sharing, and Bushy Shul is on it the whole time. So it's lovely to see many of you on Zoom. So the people on Zoom, would any of you like to ask any questions or share any comments, please? You have to unmute your microphone if you want to say something. Otherwise, we can just say hello to everyone, to Gary, to Claude and Stephanie.
Hi.
Michael. And who have we got over here? I can't see who that is.
Hi, Jacqueline. It's Kathy here. Thank
Oh,
you.
wow, you're all on. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. So lovely to see people.
Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi, guys. Hi, Claude and Steph. Any questions or comments, guys?
No.
Have you any more tips on time saving? Tips for saving time for cleaning for Pesach. For instance, you mentioned that the dust is not chametz. What other things you want to tell us?
Yeah, my main. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Any questions or comments, guys?
Any more tips on time saving? Tips for saving time for cleaning the Pesach. For instance, you mentioned that the dust is not chametz. What's other?
I'm going to come back to you. Susan, hiya. I'm really trying to get to grips with all the technology, guys, so you have to just bear with me. But I can see just for a second, Susan Martin has asked, where can we, oh gosh, you're not meant to see my kitchen. Susan Marker has asked, where can we find a list of items we can buy in supermarkets without a Pesach Hafsha? That's all going to be given to us, Susan. We're going to send that out probably with a Monday email as well. But it's also on the KLBD website. But that's all going to get sent to the community because I think those things are really important. Okay, and now Gary, I think as much as possible, whatever you can just close up and mark as chametz, like I said, whatever you're not going to be accessing on Pesach, you don't have to do. So it's just the main areas that you really need to concentrate on is the kitchen and the dining room, because those are going to be the places where you're going to be having your Pesach food, where you're going to be preparing Pesach things. That's the bit that's going to be tricky, and we'll on subsequent series we'll talk about how to kosher your surfaces, how to kosher your stove, how to kosher your oven, if you want to use your dishwasher, if you want to use your microwave. We will go through all those things because I know that for a lot of people, either they haven't done it before or they haven't done it like this before. But those are going to be your main areas that you're going to be focusing on. If there are other areas in your house that you don't normally bring food into, then there's not really much Pesach cleaning to do. But I will put a caveat in. If you have wonderful little children like we do, and I'm smiling thinking of some of the people like Mark Jacobs on this Zoom video, you will know that there will be food in absolutely every single part of your house. So obviously different rules apply over there, and good luck to you having the kids home that's like us. But actually this year, you know what, we're going to just try, put all the toys up away. Don't need to go through every single one because you know there's chametz in it. So just put it away for a week and the kids will be more excited to play with it next week anyway. Okay, any other questions or comments?
If we're not likely to use the car for the whole of Pesach, do we need to clean the car or can we sell it in the same way we sell other things?
I would probably ask Elchanan to comment on that one, but my thoughts would be if you're definitely not using it, then maybe that's one thing. But if there might be a possibility, then it might be worth looking at. But again, I think that's probably a question for one of the rabbis. Anyone else?
No.
Wendy, did you have a question?
No, that was Neil who was asking why I haven't put my picture up yet.
Oh, okay.
It took me half the session to work out how to get volume.
I'm so proud, Wendy. Could you hear any of it?
Just the last 5 minutes. I worked it out.
Well, I'm just going to do a quick recap for people who are coming on later. I was just talking about your cupboards. All you need to do is seal them. You don't let people see this. Is all my chametz stuff. All I'm going to be doing is putting some sellotape across it, marking it as chametz, and then make sure you fill out a chametz form. There's no need to drive ourselves, especially this year, but actually every year, there's no need to drive yourself mad. But as an example, the surface, you can see my not so clean kitchen. That would need to be, we need to talk about that next time because there you can see there is clearly bits of chametz that I can see floating around. So,
Jacqueline,
yes.
You spoke about earlier about in terms of the KLBD will be putting out lists and stuff. Is there obviously it's going to make it slightly more challenging. I appreciate communities there and we've got things in place where people will get stuff for families that don't necessarily have the ability to get out due to the situation. But given the current list of having to go and get kosher for Pesach, I know that Kathy put up on the group on Facebook about coffee and other stuff that are kosher for Pesach. That is there a wider list that is accessible for us that we don't need to drive ourselves mad looking for that special, very small little label that says kosher for Pesach?
Yeah, so I think we're hopefully with the Monday email, we're going to send out whatever notifications we have from KLBD, which will include how to make Pesach easily, etc. And a lot of the supermarkets have a Pesach range. So, you know, even if you can't get to other places, a lot of the supermarkets have a Pesach range. Saying that, our local kosher shops are doing deliveries, and there are people who can do deliveries for us as well. But yeah, listen, Pesach is always complex and always challenging to try and make it work. But I think this year, everyone's looking for the best way to strip it down to its bare bones, make it easiest as possible for people. And like I said, you know, you can have the main foods that you eat, you know, whether it's your vegetables, your potatoes, your chicken, your eggs, all that kind of stuff. There's no reason this year to have to go over the top with lots of other things as well. So we're all going to be trying to make sure that it's as easy as possible. You will need to get a box of matzahs, but great, you know, that kind of stuff. But I think that a lot of the supermarkets have that stuff now.
The only thing I'd be cautious about, and being in the industry in terms of retail and supermarkets, is that they won't be given, for example, Tesco, Boreham Wood won't be giving over the same. I don't believe, I need to get this clarified through my contacts in the industry, they won't be given over the same space they would normally give over for Pesach because of the situation. So we just need to be mindful that we won't have the full plethora of choice available to us.
Yeah. And we've been sharing today, we've been sharing today as well which supermarkets will, which kosher shops will deliver. So obviously we've got our local ones, but there are some other ones as well that will deliver as well. So you can call up and they'll...
Vicky and I went last night to Brent Cross, to Tesco and Brent Cross. They had clearly made quite a lot of space available for their Pesach range, but quite a lot of it had already gone. But they are doing special offers on grape juice and wine and Rakuzen's matzah. Also, just be aware that if you want to get the sacks of salt, which the KLBD have now approved for Pesach, if you're lucky, you might find the miniature bottles. They're about this high, which might just make enough for your salt water. But I checked with the KLBD because it doesn't appear on their promotional literature. That's also approved by them for Pesach. And the other thing to watch out for is not all the supermarkets stock Tate and Lyle sugar. They either do Silver Spoon, which is what Tesco does, or you'll need to find another supermarket that stocks Tate and Lyle. But it's the Tate and Lyle one that's been approved by the KLBD.
Also, guys, Hadar in Edgware are doing an online form, and they've all delivered to Bushy.
Fabulous, thank you. And when we were in Edgware last night doing some errands, a lot of the shops aren't as full. So, you know, that it's not like, I know that we're hearing stories of Kosher Kingdom and Kosher Outlet, but there are lots of other shops that it's not quite as crazy there, and people are staying away from each other as well, which is important.
Okay.
Kosher Kingdom was also quite empty last night. We had to wait queue to get in, but they're managing the number of people that are in store at any one time.
Can I just say, it's Kathy here, that Sainsbury's in Edgware, apparently the whole of the back wall has got all kosher Pesach things.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Please God, everyone will have enough. We'll make sure of it, and we'll just all be there to help each other. I think that's the point right now. So please God, that shouldn't be the issue. I just wanted to end with one final thought. Our boys were making a choir just before, and they were singing the song by Yaakov Shweki of Vahisha Amda, which is apparently part of what they're going to be performing for us at our Seder, which was really lovely to hear. But it's interesting, I was reflecting on the words that they're saying, that, and this is what stood against us in every generation. There's been something that's tried, that there's been something or someone who's tried to destroy us, but God has saved us from their hands. And I think right now, with all the different worries that we had a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and right now, I think there's only one thing that's on all of our minds, and it's not whether we'll have enough food or whether we'll get Pesach, matzah for Pesach. There's just so much more serious things going on. Please God, we should all be safe and well, and our families should be safe and well, and our community should be safe and well, and all our loved ones, and everyone in the world, really. And to me, that message of V'hakadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu miyadav, that we really do need to take time now to strengthen our prayers, to cry out to God, because this is so clearly out of all of our control. And that's why we're really looking to try see if we can connect through prayer, even though we're not connecting through our shul, that we are having lots of different opportunities to be able to pray. Anyone who you know who doesn't have access to the internet, there's a way to dial in and listen and contribute as well. But we've had just today, as an example, we've had Shacharit in the morning online, we've had laying to fill in, we've had lunch and learn. There's constantly there's a Tehillim group that you can click on and read a chapter of Tehillim from as well. And we've just said some prayers tonight as well. And there's going to be learning starting at 7:30 as well. So please, in this time where everything is so clearly out of our control and there's nothing that we can do, let's all try to remember V'hakadosh Baruch Hu matzilenu miyadam, that God was the one who's always saved us from the hands of whatever it is that is there to destroy us. And please God, we should really, when we say L'shana haba b'Yerushalayim, next year in Jerusalem, we should not only be redeemed from the virus that's rapidly spreading amongst us, but we should, please God, all be in Jerusalem next year, celebrating a massive Bushy communal Seder all together, and it should really be in good health and happiness. And you should all, please God, be well and look after yourselves. Stay inside. Anyone who's meant to be on their own, let us know if we can get anything for you. And please God, look after yourself. And I can see that
Maybe we can get Boris Johnson to pay for our trips to Jerusalem next year.
Perfect.
In your mouth.
Yeah. I've given a lot else away, so why not add it to the list?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Rabbi, did you want to say hi? You need to unmute your mic.
For those,
Which rabbi?
for those,
Oh, both of you. Great.
for those of us who are ready to upgrade to the serious stuff, this is a plug. At 7:30 this evening begins the Daf HaShua. Tune in from 7:30 to 8:30 for the serious learning. Looking forward to all coming along. Text will be provided, and Yasha Kayach to Jeff.
Take care, everyone. God bless you, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.